welcome to the BBC News School Report. Hello, I'm Abby from Our Lady St Patrick's High School. In today's report we'll look at the changing faces of music. Music has come a long way from the phonographs to MP3s, from Frank Sinatra to Flo Rida. Artists have gone from being promoted by large record companies to self-promoting through YouTube and MySpace. The changing formats of music have forced artists to publish themselves in different ways. The way we listen to music has changed rapidly over the last 20 years. Let's check in on our outside reporter, Alison.
Thank you, Abby. Hi, I'm Alison, and myself and some other pupils will be looking at different formats of music, like these.
In a way, like, these are much better than CDs than anything really, because the fact that on the inside when you open it up, it's basically the bottom for the artwork. The art was just amazing for the inside, and the discs themselves are pretty big. Like, I mean, the size of that. So it's like you couldn't really take them about with you pretty much. You couldn't really like carry them about the street, listen to music. You had to stay at home to listen to music, so you had to be antisocial back then. Cassettes and CDs are now coming out in fashion. Like, they're no longer like the in thing. Like, now as a kid growing up, this is what I listened to with a wee cassette player in my room dancing away like I thought I was cool. But nowadays you wouldn't really buy a cassette or like use a cassette player anymore.
Disc was the first thing that you could record on. So singers like Ed Sheeran, they made music with them really simply. And I think they are quite good if you're kind of a budding musician or anything, but personally you wouldn't really come across these. It's kind of, they're really rare in a way. Usually with CDs they're becoming increasingly less and less popular. That's why downloading is becoming the new thing, because everyone's wanting to go travelling and listening to the music without having to bring a CD player along. But if you're just stuck in your bedroom, then these are usually the things I would listen to.
Nearly everyone these days has an iPod. It's the in thing, it's really popular, and it's much easier than carrying around a cassette or a CD, because it's just the one thing that has all the music on it, and with iTunes it's really easy to download the music. Now back to Abby in the studio.
Thanks, Alison. I wonder what effect this has on musicians.
Sammy converses with some musicians.
Is music easier to make today?
Right, well, from knowing a couple of bands and from making music myself as a teacher, I would say it would be easier to make today. In any house that you've got nowadays, as long as you've got half-decent walls and soundproofing, you can have your own recording studio in your house and record onto your computer and then mix it together, and you've got yourself a track to send off to potential people who would be interested in your band for gigs, for publishing your music, etc. So I would say that it is easier for you today to make music.
Sammy emailed Madeline Pritchard, who is an up-and-coming R&B artist from Glasgow. We asked her, how do you feel the way people access music now affects musicians like yourself? She answered, thanks to the download phenomenon, for an unsigned artist like me, it is much easier for the public to access my songs. I believe kids today have a broader musical tastes, and download sites for unsigned artists can cater to anyone's curiosity for the newer sounds. For unsigned artists without the financial advantage of a major label distribution deal, for those who wish to download legally or perhaps illegally file share my music, it can only serve a greater purpose: to have my music listened to and create a wider fan base. The disadvantage for me, of course, is that I cannot see who is downloading my albums, so I cannot target my market, and I also do not receive any monetary royalties. But for someone like me at the beginning of their songwriting career, it is only a small burden to bear.
Before they get me home, and I swear that you
is interviewing different generations of music fans.
Is access to music different from then to now?
It was a really big deal to go into a record store, because in those days they had booths and you were allowed to go in and put headphones on and listen to your music. It was a huge big deal to have any of these records. So, I mean, I think technology has come so far, and that's pretty amazing, that, you know, you can download stuff off the internet. The thing is, because that access is so easy, maybe music doesn't have the same pulse that it once had.
How would you access that music compared to nowadays?
Well, obviously nowadays you get the very convenient ways of accessing music from iTunes. You know, you just download a song for 99p or 79p or whatever, and it goes straight onto your iPod, and you've got that there in your whole kind of back catalogue, which is really, as I say, convenient for you. But you know, when I was young, my mum and dad would take me to a record shop maybe at the weekend, and I could buy a 7-inch single, which I absolutely loved to buy. I really loved. I've always really enjoyed music, or like tape cassettes as well. I had a big collection of them as well.
I would argue that in some ways music has changed since my childhood, particularly with downloading music. When I was growing up in the 90s, this wasn't really accessible. We couldn't download so much, so I would have to go to the shop and physically buy CDs or cassettes.
Sammy recently got in contact with an employee from a well-known music retailer. They told us of the difficulties of selling music in the modern day. It's a bit of a shame that I am now in a career that I can see ending in the next few years. Music is my love and my life. I don't know what can be done to change the attitude of the music buying public, but I hope that it can be done as soon as possible before I lose my job.
Thanks, Sammy. I wonder what changes are still to come. Overall, music changes consistently through the ages. Therefore, no one can predict what music has in store for the future, whether it be for better or for worse. That's been Sammy, Alison, Louise and Laura from Our Lady in St Patrick's High School. I'm Abby, and thank you for watching.